Not sure if you can hear me. We have a little technical challenge happening here. Okay, looks like I am audible, but I am not visible. So today is the great invisible good times. Okay, so we're going to work on that. Welcome everyone. Welcome to this stream. I'm operating from deep darkness. Denny, welcome from New York City, Harlem, I believe. Okay, so let's figure out this camera thing. What is up with this? It's a ghost in the machine. Maybe this is the universe telling me this should be a podcast, not a live stream. Okay, how do I reset the camera? I ask. Beep up, beep up. Why would the camera be off? Is the camera on? Okay, I'm just checking this stuff out, guys. Thanks for your patience here. Welcome, everyone. Nice to be here with you. If you're just joining us, we usually have the camera on. That's how we roll, but in this case, not so much, apparently. Okay, so there is a camera signal. It is weirdly zoomed in. Off. Okay. Okay, so I have a camera signal on my side, but it's not registering, so let's turn the source off, turn the source on. This is very fun for you folks, just so you know. Camera, cam link, turn off, turn on. Weird. Maybe I have to add a second camera source. I might have to add a new camera here, it'll look very strange today, but might be the case. Why no camera today? I did not restart this program between last time I streamed. I had the computer on the whole time, so I wonder if that's why. Add source. No, that's not what I asked for. Okay, that means that the link is wrong. Okay, sorry guys, just give me 1 sec. We're getting there, pretty close. So how's everybody doing today? Today's a pretty intense day for me, at least. Lots of mixed emotions as they arise, as they come and go. What's going on? How's everybody's life? I know it's a few days late for Spooktober, indeed. One sec here, I'm just checking the back of the computer. Not quite sure how this is. We might just have to do this with no camera, folks. This is very weird. Not quite sure why this would be. I don't know what's that different today, but well, listen, this is what it is. Thanks for everyone bearing with. And you know, it's a nice day, so maybe today is a day for a zero camera situation. I'm gonna try one more time, and then I'm just gonna go get rid of this whole thing. Try one more adding of a camera. I do have this weird ass other webcam, so I'm going to try this other weird ass webcam, see if that's worth trying. Let's say it is connected. Yeah, oh, the cap, the lens cap. That must be what it is. That's not it, you silly. But that's a good idea. Kind of what it looks like. Okay. Let's see if this works. Cancel. Add source. Okay. We're almost there. Maybe. Video capture. Huh. That is funny. It won't let me add anything but the already existing camera, which is reading as nothing coming in at all. Okay, folks, today's a spooky day. I'll have to operate solely by audio. So this is a funny situation, but that's how it works. We can see the chat, which is what's important. Okay. Big black cloud today, exactly. Today's a little bit of a big black cloud day. Happy folks are here with me. I don't know who's affected by the U.S. election or who's not affected by the U.S. election, but it's great to be here with you. Welcome, Nick in 2020 CL. Welcome, Julius. Hello again. Welcome, Nate and Denny. Kiki from Maxi got here nice and early. Thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you here. I think that might be the key, is actually if I'm just not on camera, I'm not saying anything, everybody else becomes very chatty suddenly. So hopefully that's of interest. So folks, very excited to be here with you. This is Black Cloud Wednesday, and what that means is we are going to meditate today. And today's meditation, I don't know who was paying attention at all recently, but it is man, a lot of mixed emotions. Really hard to navigate all of this, all of what's happening right now. For me, it's, a combination of dread and concern and sort of like disgust and like all these weird experiences. It's so strange to think what is going on. What's up with this country that it would make decisions like this, and this is where we're at. But I mean, I'm going to go on a little bit of a political diatribe. I guess we're in a place where very close to half of the United States likes the way the pandemic is being handled, likes the way we're relating to climate change, likes the general tenor and tone of sort of how things are being conducted, likes the way that we're experienced and viewed in the world by other countries, likes the way that race relations are going in the country, and feels that they want more of that. And it's hard for me to take that in, but it's helpful to remember that. I mean, I think of, I have a lot of patriotism and this kind of thing. I mean, not a lot, but I have more than zero. And it's helpful. This happened when Bush got reelected. It's like, oh right, the country picked this. It was not a situation where this was. This was not an accident. This is intentional, and we can blame the previous one on all sorts of things like Russian collusion and interference and the Comey letter and etc. But it seems like people maybe want this. If in the middle of this like unbelievable pandemic and like downturn in the economy and all this stuff, still people are like, yes, I love this. I'm not sure how people. I just can't understand how so many people are voting for this. But hey, listen, I apparently don't understand this particular aspect of human experiencing. So there it is. So what that leads to, why does that have to do with meditation? Well, I personally need to be able to manage all the emotion. Manage the one of the big ones that's coming up for me is like this sort of overriding concern, like, I don't know, hemming and hawing and sort of like, So I think that we as a community get to decide how we interact with this. And there's so many thoughts that come to me, that so many thoughts about what do I do in the future? What do I do? Do we just wait and see? Do I look at the newspaper to see the latest, vote counting headline or the latest, concern about, this detail or that detail? Like, what is the right action to take? What is the right internal position to take? But ultimately, let's say, additionally, we need to develop the skill of being able to manage a thicket of different emotions occurring all at the same time. This is true right now, and it's true at any time in our life. And so what I want to do today is look at mixed emotions, various emotions occurring all at once, and how to process that, how to work with that. And maybe in particular bringing up a little bit on the fear side, because a lot of what happens is the concern, like what's the answer? What's the plan? Not knowing is the part that's so painful. So folks, looks like we're going camera free today. If you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. Just a quick visual description. I am a 6 foot tall lady with beautiful long auburn hair and big fake eyelashes. And I'm a meditation guide here. So if this is your first time, just so you know, that's what you're missing, because the camera's a little messed up today, apparently. And we're going to be meditating here for 25 whole minutes. We're very excited you're here. If you're new to the stream, or if you're new to meditation, let us know right this minute, and that way we can welcome you, and I can shape the meditation so that it works better for you. We're also going to try after this. We haven't tried this before in a while. Sort of maybe today is the perfect day for this. Is we're going to afterwards have a Q&A, but I'm going to ask folks to come on the Zoom to ask your questions just by audio. We're going to see if more people are interested in participating, if they don't have to show up in their bathrobe, or with their mascara streaming down their face from the tears. So folks, find a nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. What on earth does that mean? That means arranging the body well, sitting either at the edge of a cushion or at the edge of a chair, ideally with not back support, just allowing ourselves to balance, finding a balance point from the tailbone through the crown of the head. It's interesting to just use audio. I'm right now, just so you know, preparing for the meditation with the eyes closed, and there's something different about actually doing this process without the visual side. It's very interesting for me. So finding that nice comfortable position. I'm going to encourage you to practice in stillness. Of course, since today's a potentially difficult day for folks, I want you to feel free to go ahead and move, but what I'm going to encourage you to do is wait 30 seconds or a minute before you do, and make sure you make any movements in the body consciously and gently, slowly. And when you find that nice comfortable position, we will begin. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths and just feeling the body rise and fall. Feeling the comfort of returning to a meditation practice. Something that can feel familiar in a world that sometimes does not. Each time we begin a meditation, our experience is a mix of different streams, different layers of momentum. So depending on whether the body was tired leading up to this moment or agitated leading up to this moment, depending on all of the physical factors, the temperature, whether we've eaten, caffeine, whether there's pain in the body, all of this is going to shape our experience of this particular moment. And while we can't know all of the factors that led to this particular moment. They are countless and extend back far beyond our own birth, our biology and chemical and physical makeup, as well as the social and cultural environment that we have found ourselves in. We can't know all of these details, but amazingly we can know their result. All of these various streams mixing together, pouring out into the form of this particular experiential moment. What is the experience of existing according to touch sensation in the body? What does it feel like now? Taking a general snapshot of the overall body experience, knowing that at times we'll be pulled into particular sensations, and we simply allow those sensations to be felt within the larger context of all of the body's sensations at this moment. And if it's helpful, we can use a mental label, using a word to help guide our experience. So each time you notice the overall experience of the body and the mind, you can simply say the word feel. 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 In this case, we're using this word to mean a general sense of the body's sensations as a collective in this moment. And of course, at times we'll drift away or become distracted. So we simply come back, once again asking the question, what is the experience of the body in this moment? Only looking for answers. Only looking for answers that come in the form of body sensation. As soon as we have a general sense of the body and the mind, we can use the mental label feel to mark this point of contact, soaking into the experience, letting go and starting the process over. If we find we don't need to use a label, that's fine, we can do so without it. But if it's supportive, allowing the mind to label in this way. And of course, something that might be arising in the body is emotion. And we may find too that there may be several emotions. This can feel like a kind of emotional turbulence. And like when we hear two notes that don't harmonize well, emotional turbulence can feel a little yucky. So if this is the case, simply recognizing that this is natural. Everything that's occurring in the body is a natural response. In order to make sense of the world, to help us navigate the world and stay safe and fulfilled, the body produces various sensations. So as we feel the body's sensations, if any emotion or if several emotions are arising, recognizing that this is the body trying to guide us. The body using a technology that is billions of years old. the limbic system, the emotional system. In the same way, an electric eel can detect the electrical sensations in an animal nearby within its own body, knowing its location, its intensity, proximity. As humans, we have an internal system to help us read and interpret the world. One that predates even the thinking mind. So soaking into, if possible even honoring this ancient wisdom. While it may not be comfortable, while at times it may feel overwhelming, we can cultivate a degree of respect, understanding. Ah, yes, of course. I understand why you may respond in this way. And of course, at times thoughts may arise. The mind will try to solve or think of a way to not have to be with these physical sensations. And if at any time these sensations feel overwhelming, it's entirely skillful to make an adjustment, to allow the body to move if needed. Sometimes subtly, sometimes more broadly. Or if we need to, we can even pause the meditation entirely. It can be helpful too to know that our experience of overwhelm with emotion is in fact a memory. In most cases, the emotion we're experiencing now is not overwhelming, although a part of us might fear that it could be. A part of us might fear, what if I couldn't handle this? And it's important to know that we can. We have the power to pause the meditation or to simply be with this sensation. To be with the turbulence. And we can be helped by knowing that in this moment there are others other people facing their challenging emotions with great strength. In this very moment, thousands, if not millions, of people feeling perhaps the same or similar emotions, or emotions that are different with a similar intensity. And as strange as it might sound, there's a way where we can draw from that collective strength. The collective strength of those living, facing these difficulties. And the collective strength of the countless members of generations that came before us, who had bodies with the same system, the same way of relating to the world. So strange as it may sound, as mystical or imaginary as it may feel. Seeing if we can put aside those concerns and for a moment simply connecting with that communal support. That we are not alone. That I'm here with you. Even if at a distance, as are countless others. That I believe, without a doubt, that you have the strength, the clarity, the innate awareness of peace, to be with this challenge. Even if that means pausing or stepping away from a formal meditation or being with, opening up to abiding within this set of sensations. I believe. I know of your strength. And staying with the practice, staying in stillness, allowing a tiny bit of light to enter the eyes, eventually allowing the eyes to rest on a single point as they fully open. Noticing that as the eyes open, sometimes the emotion can feel as though it intensifies. So in this moment, finding whatever tool, whatever way of being, can help us be with this challenge. Recognizing this particular moment, this is the great teacher. This is the moment we've been preparing for. This is where all of the strength and skill that we've gathered throughout our lives, this is where we have an opportunity to use those skills. And in this way, showing the body, showing the mind how we might bring this practice into every aspect of our life. Okay, so taking a moment to adjust the body. Stretch. Make any adjustments you need to allow the body to be comfortable. And what I'd like to hear from folks, how was that for you? What occurred? What was the experience? And what do you like now? So what I'm going to do one more time, today's obviously a special, strange, visually different day. We have our cameras fully malfunctioning. We've just checked on a different program and they are just completely not operable. I think it's something with the graphics card I'm sure will be instantly fixed when I restart the computer. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send out our Zoom information for audio connection only. So this means if you want to jump on our Zoom, your voice will be transmitted to folks. What this does is it changes the conversation a little bit. It makes it a little bit more, let's say, human interactive in the realm of our ordinary interactive conversation. And I want to encourage folks to do this, especially if you're, kind of on the fence, not quite sure. It'd be so nice to chat. Voice connection is one of the central ways that humans manage emotions. It's how we regulate emotion in the body. So what was that experience like? And if you don't feel like jumping on, that's no problem. Just feel free to chit chat, tippy type in the what's this sucker thing called over here? I feel like I'm more spaced than I usually am. In the chat. That's what it's called. It's called the chat. Let us know what that experience was like, what happened, and what on earth you are like now. I can say from my end, before people start piping in here, it was very interesting to not have the camera going. I don't know why. I'm not sure why, but there was something very different about it for me. And yeah, interesting. So yeah, what was that like? What happened and what are you like now? I want to try a new command here in the chat as folks are sort of getting their reports ready or jumping onto Zoom. Let's see if this works. There we go. Okay, this is a new command. Did you know? If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to this channel for free. Just connect your Amazon and your Twitch account in your settings. It supports us, and it's free for you. That is absolutely true. Let's see here. I forget, Tomlin, if you're here, I'm not sure if Tomlin's here. If you're here, where is that settings connection? Is that in Twitch or is that in Amazon? I forget which is which. I think it might be in Twitch. So folks, what was that like? What happened and what do you like now? Denny says, Twitch, I believe. Oh, great. Okay, well, I can even adjust that in the text itself for next time. So yeah, so what was that like? What happened and what do you like now? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. 2020 CL says, that was wonderful. Felt grateful and an upwell of emotion, then peace at the end. Excellent. Okay, so I'm glad that was fun. That was of interest. Yeah, managing and working with instilled some calmness. Excellent. Yeah, managing emotion in this way can be really helpful, is just to acknowledge it among all the other body sensations is one strategy that we like to use. Another one is what I did at the end there, which I don't think I've actually ever done in a guided meditation before, which is encourage folks to connect with a kind of communal strength. It seems a little mystical for me. I don't usually go that direction, but I think that's a real thing, is we can connect with our sense of community, a sense of all the other folks who are facing this, and a bit of encouragement from me, like a little bit of confidence from my experience that I have a belief that you can handle this and you can face this, even if that means pausing the meditation. Curious for folks how that section of the meditation itself worked for you. If it was helpful or challenging or whatever that is. Whatever came up, yes. I feel a lot calmer too. I felt focused, but looking back, I think I was more distracted than I realized. Well, that happens. That is one of those things that happens. Julia says, my body started rocking very slightly. Great, not a problem. And that's P.S. when there's an instruction for stillness in the body, those kind of involuntary body movements where the body is sort of rocking or this kind of thing, we don't need to stop those. That can happen. It's not a big deal. Rocking from side to side without the intention to do so. I am somewhat more calm now than before the meditation. There isn't a big difference. Okay, great honesty, great clarity on your report. Again, this is an ongoing process. We want to learn to metabolize our emotions as often and frequently as possible. It's not a one and done kind of situation. Okay, so Tamalan, you're saying you have to do it from Amazon, not from Twitch. You don't like sign into your Twitch account and then say, connect Amazon from there. You're saying you have to do it from Amazon and you connect your Twitch there. Is that correct? Or is it the other way? Because usually it's like, if you're like on a website, it's like sign up through, sign in through Google or sign in through, so I thought it would go in that direction, but I'd be curious. Jean says, but the we have a collective strength and you are not alone parts were really nice and I feel grateful for them. Well, that's lovely. I'm glad that was helpful. I'm also, any reports on that at all, people don't have to say, that worked great for me. You can also say, that was terrible. I hated it. Curious what that was like for. I think this is where you can do it. Okay, great. Thank you so much for that. I'll include that link there in the actual message itself, so folks can go there and do that. Okay, very cool. Very cool. Thank you for that, Denny. Let's see. Brian says, it felt very peaceful. I liked the simplicity of staying with the body as a whole for the entire time. Yeah, it's funny because someone in our stream entry, so like on Reddit, there's subreddits, and there's one called our stream entry, which is about the first stages of awakening. Somebody on there was summarizing like Janish's technique, and it's funny because I often turn to, at least during the period that I was teaching them, will often turn to the body and observing the body as a whole as a way of connecting with awareness. It's a nice balance because you can connect with all sensation altogether as a whole, which you also notice that I'll do, but I'll often start with the body because it's simple. The body's pretty easy to feel, and then collecting that as a whole typically feels pretty relieving. Not too hard, not so easy that we actually can't get anything done. And so it's funny though to think, oh, that's the shtick, or that's the thing that I do. But hey, listen, it works, so I tend to keep going back to it. So hopefully that is fun, easy, interesting, and significant for you. Nick says, significantly increased calmness here as well. Felt connection with all beings in the evolutionary line leading up to this. I'm not sure why you're sorry, but that makes sense. So yeah, that's something that I've been thinking about a lot recently, is that we really think of our lives as being so isolated. And if we think about cultures that really focused on ancestry and our connection with like generations back, not like grandparents and great-grandparents, we have our family trees, and maybe if we're very lucky, we have some sense of who our great-great-grandparents were, or maybe we have some sense of like, oh, my very old ancestor came to this country or was here, or maybe we do our DNA test or this kind of thing. But it's hard to, I think the DNA test might be the closest thing in our culture that we do that's like this, but to consider the strength that was required of all of those people over the course of millions of years. Very, very powerful, very, very intense levels of, strength that were required. And all of that, evolutionarily, all of the, animals that survived and died and morphed, just through random chance and etc. All of them had an incredible strength. And so we can tap into that. And while it might not be, if you're a skeptic, it might not be like literal, like, oh, I'm literally tapping into the strength of the fish that climbed out of the ocean. Human beings have the power to produce and connect with patterns. Right? Let's look at if we use these strengths poorly, we can connect with patterns. We can create a sense of being that is beyond our own current experience. We can have a sense of ordering our experience based around ritual and doing things repetitively that create a sense of structuring our world. And if you take all of those and move them in a bad direction, you have people who are like obsessed about conspiracy theories, and they think the world is doing X, Y, and Z, and we can really drive ourselves crazy. And we're going to do this stuff anyway. We're going to create these patterns. We're going to create rituals. We're going to find patterns and see these things as significant shapers of our lives. So why not pick ones that actually support our experience of wanting to be more fulfilled? That's my take. Why not? 2020 CL says, yes, feeling connected was very prominent today. Excellent. And that kind of thing, that kind of nurture positive practice is something that we can just cultivate all the time. Connecting with the sort of Buddha nature or the kind awareness or that aspect of people's experience that is far beyond our own limited few decades on this planet. Nick says, sorry not for having a different experience. Some ambivalence. If the genes and environment is put in place by forcing going back billions of years, and these are the only two original factors generating all our thinking, feeling, acting in a way that literally sucks to hear from a perfectionist doer perceiver that I'm just an output of nature and effect, so to speak. On the other hand, it's freeing somehow. So I think that often the doer, or that part of you that feels like it wants autonomy and strength and wants to be able to do things outside of, let's say, our evolutionary or biological momentum, that part that wants to have mastery, etc., it often overestimates its own power, but the other side of that is it overestimates its need to intervene in the world. It's like I have to fight, and there's this constant struggle to exist even. So what we're looking at is realizing, oh, there's a wisdom that's kept me alive way before I was born, before humans were created, before animals left the ocean. There's a force that's been keeping me alive. There are forces that have been keeping me, balanced emotionally. There's been forces that have been, giving me a sense of community and a sense of connection. And these forces are much bigger than me. And so that little ego that says, I need to control or I need to manage, doesn't like that idea, because then it can't be God, effectively. But if it can step outside of that, then there's a chance for a much larger sense of freedom that can expand beyond that. So that's generally what I would say. What do you got in your mouth, little doggy? The dog's got some cardboard in her mouth. You know what, Sela? You've been such a good girl. You can eat this little piece of cardboard. Go ahead and chew on that. That's for you. Okay. So, folks, what else before we slide away into the night, before I fix my camera? What else is going on? Any other questions, curiosities, interests? Oh, P.S. Next stream this Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's strongly likely, I'm going to speak with somebody tomorrow, but because of a schedule change, it's going to be my next prelude to my next psychedelic experience. So this Friday is probably going to be me talking about intentions going into my next psychedelic trauma therapy session. which is always a big hit. People like those ones. And then the Monday session will be reporting from that experience, what it was like, what happened, and what I'm like then. So, excellent. So, folks, what else? Anything else before we slide away into the ether? Okay, folks, great. So, with that, oh, you know what I want to do? Again, I'm trying to work this out. I'm just learning how to do this. Tomlin might be here and might be able to help me, but I want to do a raid. So what we're going to do is we're going to transfer everybody over to a different stream. And I think we're going to raid our friend here again. Check Me Out. Check Me Out is a fellow meditation guide, although she works mainly from doing sound stuff, so I want to transfer folks over here. How to do that is still a mystery. I did it one time before, and I am unclear how to do it again. Let's see here. Beep up, beep up. So we're going to jump over here in a second. Oh, do you know what I did last time? I raided, but then didn't know how to... didn't turn off my stream, so my stream ran for 7 hours. So, okay. Tomlin... If you're here, Tomlin, let me know if you're here, because I feel like you could just walk me through this really quick versus me like searching around forever. Yeah, let me know. Okay, I'm excited to get more familiar with this whole raid thing. So, let's see here. Where is this? Oh, here we go. Raid a channel. Excellent. Okay, folks, we're about to raid our friend in a second here. So we're going to be it'll transfer the whole audience, and your viewing screen will switch to this viewing screen. It's a guided sound meditation with some nice audio, which you can have in the background or do in the foreground, whatever you like. Okay, we're about to be ready. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to raid now. Okay, folks, see you soon. Looking forward to connecting with you all. Here we go. Okay, so from what I understand now, my whole audience has been transferred over. There's no one here in our chat, I think. And so what I'm going to do is end our stream. If you're watching the video, great to see you. Thanks for being here. If you're watching the playback, glad you're here. My wish for you is that in this particular moment, you can feel into whatever ambivalence and difficulty might be arising, especially as you consider the long day that's unfolding in front of you. And just allow that to be held as an ordinary, natural experience. An experience which has been processed by thousands, if not millions of ancestors, thousands of people now in this moment. Thank you so much for joining as always. Practice well. Take care of each other. Have fun. And we'll see you very, very soon. Bye.